They call it All Eyes on the Judiciary. A lot of people laughed at them. They did a T-shirt, they did their posters, and they call it All Eyes on the Judiciary. Some people laughed at them and say they are wasting their time. I can tell you, if you know anybody, any judge that you know, especially those from the appeal courts to the Supreme Court, if you know anybody that know any judge, ask them a question. Or, how are they feeling? The judges were so uncomfortable. It has never happened in Nigeria before. So this idea that people will say, what can people do about it? People talk and talk and talk and talk. Those things that those young people did with their hard-earned money made a difference. If you disagree with me, that's okay. I want you to go back and listen to the judgment. If you listen again, you hear from Justice Ian Okoro, his countenance when he was delivering that judgment. He said, and I quote, "I wrote this judgment." Why is Ian Okoro telling you that he wrote the judgment? I mean, you wrote a judgment, just read out the judgment. Because a lot of people, a lot of young people have made it very clear that they do not trust him. A lot of people have started accusing him that this judgment was written by someone else. And you can see that they were not comfortable. So when people say, what can be done, people are wasting their time. I don't know anybody who wants to waste their time. It's Monday, and I'm working from home anyway. But if you do not know what the young people did, please go back, take your time, do a bit of research. These guys spend their money, and the Nigerian judiciary felt it. One of the judges actually called them out, right? So, okay, people think they can bully them? When you hear Nigerian judges saying, oh, those on the internet, if what you guys did, if those people didn't have any effect, the judges wouldn't have talked about it. Go back and read the judgment. Justice Bolaji, I believe, she was the one that was so hard on the people on the internet, saying, do they think they can bully us with what they are saying? If it didn't matter to them, if what those guys did has no impact, there was absolutely no way Justice Bolaji would make reference to it. The Supreme Court, every one of them, they were kind of uncomfortable. So this idea that people don't talk and they move on, this is where we are. The only thing those individuals needed, those young people who spend their hard-earned money, they needed a little bit of push from the leaders of the opposition, but there was nobody there to help them. If they had somebody who, from the opposition leaders, who actually gave them 1% support, maybe we won't be here. Because I can tell you for a fact, the Nigerian judiciary they were on panic mode. They have never seen anything. So anyone who thinks that people speaking on the internet and everything is just a waste of time, I wish everybody well, but I can tell you for a fact, these guys didn't waste their time. And kudos to everyone who did that All Eyes on Judiciary. Kudos to every one of you who spent your hard-earned money. Kudos to everyone who tweeted it. Kudos to everyone who did that hashtag, because you guys are the real MVP, right? And I wish you guys well. Hopefully, you guys will pick up from where you start, because nobody can tell you not to call out the injustice in this country. Bayo Ononoga did it in 1992 against the then head of state. Nobody will say you cannot do it. What we have today is a monarch. So your dietitian, thank you very much for your contribution. Let me quickly pass the mic to somebody's mic is on. Who might that be? Somebody's mic is on.
Okay, yeah, it's the same me. Thank you so much for this enlightenment and for bringing this up too. You are doing a great job, and everyone I think here is maybe someone with my same mindset, would understand, and maybe we'll try to, in our little ways too, try to do something good about it. That can help also. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Please, not only to yourself. I love a situation whereby we can uplay a little bit. But what I'm begging, what I'm saying out, not to the lady, to everyone, please, let's not carry fake news and say what is not factual against any judge because we want to make them look bad, right? Let's not. We can do to, just say this is not right. Please, that is very, very important. Captain, you raise your hand before I pass the mic to Sheikh.
Yes, Uncle Mainsa, I just wanted to, I mean, your dietitian has said exactly what I wanted to say. Like, I think talking about things is a step moving forward. So that's it, man. Just carry on.
All right. So Sheikh, you have the mic. Good afternoon, sir. Is he a man or a woman? Sheikh? I say man, actually, isn't it?
Good afternoon, Mindset. Thank you very much for this privilege. When you spoke about Bayo Nanuga and that he had actually done this stuff, I remembered something like that. But I was thinking he was just the editor. And then I actually searched that. Was he the one that actually wrote this article? And then I saw that he wrote it and he was even pushing for it repeatedly. So I said, and I've brought the evidence to the JT for those that might not want to. When they were mocking us that all eyes on the judiciary to make us feel like we are just being silly. They don't want us to weaponize these things. They don't want us to weaponize scrutiny. Because look now, this is Bayo Onanuga, the same spokesperson. He is the one that did this very thing in a military regime. If he could have such freedom in a military regime, how about in a democracy? So that's all I just wanted to have shared it to the JT. Thank you very much. I'll go down now.
Thank you very much, Sheikh, for your submission. Then I'll pass the mic to Jibril is back. Jibril, you have the mic, then I'll go to the other gentleman. Jibril, please go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. I was speaking the other time. I don't know whether you heard all that I said, but what's going on actually in this country is an evidence that we have a weak constitution, not even a weak constitution to begin with. The constitution might be perfect in some sense, but not wholly perfect. I think what's happening is that we have weak institutions that are not truly independent. So the judiciary is not independent. The executive, the legislative, all of them, they are not independent. They're just dancing to the tune of the presidency. So this is what is actually happening in Nigeria. And should we continue to live, or this country continue to exist on this kind of trajectory, there will be no meaningful development that will happen in this country. All that will keep happening is a dictatorship. Although we are practicing democracy, but it is fully flawed democracy. This is what is being practiced in Nigeria, and the world said that Nigeria is practicing hybrid regime, not fully democratic, not fully authoritarian. You see, it's mixed, and that is a very big bad sign. So what we need is that let there be constitutional reform, and when there should be a constitutional reform, the youth need to get involved. The problem is this, just like one of the speakers here said it, how can we offer our own help rather than just speaking here on the spaces and speaking? What we need is to come together, show to them that our voice can be heard and our action will matter, and it will make an enormous reverberation in the way the country is being led, in the way the constitution is being put and implemented to work. This is my opinion. What I'm saying in short, let us go beyond just holding spaces. Let us come together, irrespective of the divide or whatever opinion. This is not about politics. This is about the future of the country. If the presidency will be given the final and whole authority to be making this kind of state of emergencies, the governors will have no choice but rather than to decamp to the ruling party. And this is what is happening. Look at Fubara. I wonder how, despite his previous comments before this thing happened, he went back to APC. So this is just, Nigeria is heading to one party state, although they kept on saying that that is not their intention, but it's obvious to every reasoned person that follows event the way things used to go, this is where Nigeria is heading to. And I think even the judges, whoever flawed, we are I believe among the judges that we have in this country, there are good ones. So the good ones should come out and always speak. They should not say this is about institutional thing, we can't speak about it. They should. And I think if the government is listening to us, let them know that Nigerians are no longer going to accept all this kind of form of misleadership or maladministrative discharge that is going around the country. Since, what we need, in short, let me just repeat myself. I may not have much to say now because it's already past 4.
Sorry, Mr. Jibril, I raised my hand, so that's an indication for you to run up because I need to respond to some of the things you said before you leave the platform, please.
Okay. For Nigeria to keep on progressing and to be on a fully democratic path, I think there is need for constitutional amendment. It's either we go back and reconvene another national conference so that all minds, including the youth who might live longer beyond those who might just be part of it, should be given chance to say their own minds. From there, we can gather and see what is needed to be done. And from there, I think Nigeria is good to go because Nigeria is the picture that African democratic countries are looking up to, even West Africa. So this is it. There are states that may require state of emergency because of the kind of insecurity happening, not because of the kind of politics that is happening. That played out in Rivers State. It wasn't insecurity there, although it might have led to insecurity, but then it's pure politics. Let the focus be on other states that need it the most. And our constitution, our judges should be truly independent. And we that are speaking on this kind of spaces.
Sorry, Mr. Jibril. Now I'm gonna come in because I raised my hand. I gave you an indication that you should round up, and I thought you should have done that. Can you kindly mute your mic, please? Let me address it. Thank you. Thank you very much. So for the next speakers, how the space is run is if I raise my hand, is an indication for you to round up. I wanted to address Mr. Jibril. You see, this idea that people will come on my space, I'm not sure other spaces you go to, and you talked about people just come on spaces and they keep speaking. Please, you have to stop it on this platform. If you don't want to be part of the conversation, respectfully, you can go somewhere else. Now, let me give you an example. We are here talking about what a lot of young Nigerians did, right, to hold the government to account, especially the judiciary. They didn't do it in their bedroom. Some of those guys, and I will say it publicly, those guys. This only, a lot of the young people that did it, that made someone like Ian Okoro started to tell Nigerians that I wrote this judgment, was idea that people, came together on spaces. You probably might not be part of it because you weren't part of those spaces. That is where they did everything. They contributed their money. They on spaces. They did their banner on spaces. And you're here telling me that people are here talking. Please never repeat that again. Thank you. Mr. Ayo, you have the mic.
Is that me?
Please, sir, go ahead.
If you're being bought, even if your conscience is sold, at least there should be some level of fear of the unknown that will happen tomorrow. Even if you have sold your soul completely to the devil. At least have some decency and respect what tomorrow might bring. So you see, what we continually see in Nigeria is people who constantly do that, no respect for the future, no respect for anything that might come in this country. Because why would you give a judgment that you know so clearly makes Nigeria undemocratic? I mean, if you give the president of Nigeria, who is already like one of the most powerful people in the world, the power to wake up and remove the governor at his disposal, it shows that there is little checks and balances in this democracy. Already, the legislative arm has been pocketed. We all know what is happening to the judiciary. And as far as politics is concerned, the only people who can check the president in terms of politics are the governors. And now, when you put them in a situation where every one of them becomes an errand boy, what is the future of politics for Nigeria? It tells you a lot about what we feel, governance is, or how we sell our conscience. This same person who is president today was a governor. If he had been so emasculated to the point where he couldn't express his rights as a political opponent or as an opposition figure, would he have dared dreamed he would become president one day? I mean, how do we kill the future just for our present interest? It says a lot. No matter what you're given, you should have the decency to respect the future. But what we're seeing today is a clear absence of respect for whatever is coming. These people do not respect you. They do not respect your children. They did not respect your parents. And I sincerely hope that time can help us correct this situation of anarchy and chaos that these agents of destruction are foisting on us. Thank you. I yield the mic.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful submission. As always, it's an open platform. People are here to air their views, but at the same time, you cannot come to make people do everything they're doing like they don't know what they're doing, right? If you have followed me for a while now, you know that I take this thing seriously when it comes to people making some comment about people and something akin to wasting their time. I don't like such words, right? At my age, I don't think I'm wasting my time. The Nigerian media is compromised. The Nigerian media will not speak, they will not allow people to speak the way they would like to speak. The only thing we have, not only on this platform, other people that host spaces, I keep, congratulating anybody that hosts spaces, because the only thing that we have to air our views, somebody will make it look like you're just here to talk, right? It's not that one should not be allowed to speak, but have a bit of respect to people on the spaces. If you think that there's another option better than what we are doing, please go ahead and do it. It's a collective thing. If you think you want to go out and carry your banner, you're welcome to do so. If you think you're going to stay in front of station to do your protest, that's fine. Just allow myself and my audience what we do. I've never claimed to know you, Tom. You know, whenever you're on this platform, respect myself, respect the platform, and respect the audience. That is very, very important. Thank you. Gege, you have the mic. Good morning. Sorry, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mindset. Can you hear me? Oh, anybody hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I'm very disappointed with this court ruling, because obviously everybody has said what needs to be said about the president and his approach to or disregard for the rule of law. One thing I think other people have already said is Nigerians as a whole, we seem to have a very short memory. So you look at likes of Malami and Chris today, all shouting that the EFCC is harassing them, that the rule of law is not being followed. These people have forgotten that literally 2 years ago, they were all sitting in Buhari. They all sat there for 8 years, and they were the ones presiding the rule of law were being harassed. That's why, although I'm in the opposition, I will never use my voice to fight for the rights of Malami, Ngige, anyone that served in Buhari's administration. If Tinubu decides to jail any of them tonight, that is their problem. They were happy Buhari whilst NSAS was taking place, so they are reaping the consequences of their choices. And as I said, the same thing will happen again, because now that the power to remove a governor and declare a state of emergency has been vested in the president, you can be rest assured that in the future, this will be done to a state that is loyal to Tinubu or the Tinubu political dynasty. And those people then in future will start screaming out democracy. But I'm telling them now, over my dead body, will I join you in that protest in the future? If they collect Lagos, collect any state, you are on your own. Because the real reason why our politicians behave anyhow is because they know that when the shoe is on the other foot, Nigerians will forget and start showing solidarity with them. That is why the same people who were abused by El Rufai and Co. are now in alliance with them, claiming they want to change power. The same El Rufai that was bullying you and harassing you a few years ago. But to the future, the one thing that really concerns me is the judges themselves. So I trained as a lawyer. I studied law here in England. And when we used to read court cases, you would see that judges were excited when these types of cases came before them because it was an opportunity for them to write their names in gold. They would write a fantastic ruling that over 100 years after you've died, students are still reading about you. Justice Mindset or Justice Colady, 100 years after, you'll be a hero in the textbooks. People will be talking about you in conferences. But for what I don't understand, our Nigerian elites lack the ability to look into history to say, 100 years from now, what do I want to be remembered for? That is why, as a judge, they will bring this kind of case before you, and you'll be happy to append your signature to rubbish. In America, in the UK, judges will be excited that finally this kind of case is coming before me, because I will be the one who writes the lead judgment that throws it out. Years later, after I've died, people would walk up to my grandchild and say, "Are you related to Justice Mindset?" And say, "Yes." Say, "Yes, your father was the one that wrote that ruling that upheld democracy in Nigeria." But we don't have that. We don't have people in the judiciary who seem to rise to the occasion. And it's a real crisis, because if our judiciary cannot do the right thing, then the country cannot move forward. I mean, they always used to say that judges are almost like gods because the power of life and death is in their hands. But today, these judges have chosen death instead of choosing. So I do worry about the consequences for Nigeria, but at the same time, I don't care because APC has done what they want to do. So at the moment, I'm sitting back. When the consequences begin to hit APC, I will not care. Maybe, just maybe, when all our elites understand that, okay, we too can be removed from power by a tyrannical president, maybe that's when everybody's head will be correct. But until then, as an ordinary citizen of Nigeria, all I can do is observe the absurdity that is taking place. I yield
All right, thank you very much, Gege. You mentioned Alami, you mentioned Ngige. You see, for me, if those individuals are committed any crime and the EFCC is coming after that, I have a problem. But the thing here for me is, the right thing should be EFCC should have shown as well go after those APs as well, right? And we have the likes of around, and we have the likes of yeah. I mean, you're a lawyer, so the argument would be that. I think there's quite a number of them who has committed crime. I mean, they're quiet about it. The constitution amended tomorrow. It wouldn't cost these guys anything. The National Assembly can do that in the next 2 days. Say we change the constitution. The president has the right to be to run for another year until he's tired. We have what we have. You know what's going on in Cameroon. It's possible with what's going on right now. The danger here is the power that has been given to the power this man commands. Any governor that is opposition governor is not comfortable with, I mean, it shouldn't be comfortable. Because, as I said, mosquito will bite somebody in your state, and then the president will say there is, we're going to state the president, what are you going to do about it? The only option you have is to approach the court. But the court have said he has the right to do it. Where do you stand? All the opposition governors, they don't even know what to do at this point. Can you raise your hand? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Martin. I was just going to respond to that because there's that saying that is common in politics and philosophy where they say, when I am weak, I appeal to your morality. But when I'm strong, I rely on my own morality. And that is the game these politicians are playing with us. Malami today does not regret the fact that he used the EFCC to harass other people. He's appealing to our own goodness to say, you people help me. But if you give them power again, they will do the same thing. And what I'm trying to explain is that we cannot be allowing these politicians to use us to play games. Even this very APC, Bionomica that is talking, if they ever leave power and the PDP governor, the PDP president, decides to declare a state of emergency in Lagos, for example, this same Bionomica alongside Tinubu and Co will start another round of protests claiming that democracy is under attack. And they'll be expecting you to join them to play this game. Because for them, it's a game. They see us as idiots. When they're sitting in their houses, they're actually laughing. Look, don't worry, I can do what I want to do. When the time comes, these moves will support me in fighting. That's why what I'm saying is we step back, like what happened in Britain, where the barons had to clash with the king. On both sides, then realized that, look, we cannot keep clashing. We need to have a Magna Carta who governs our behavior. So that's what needs to happen. Anybody who loves Nigeria needs to step aside, let these mad people clash with each other until they both then understand that, look, whatever I do in power, the consequences will follow me after power. Because at the moment, the game they're playing is they misbehave with their power, and when they leave office, the power doesn't favor them. They come online and start appealing to us and tell us they're now pro-Democrats, that we should join them in a coalition to remove a bad governor. Meanwhile, they're the ones that put the bad governance there. That's my point. It's not because I don't care about the rule of law, but because I fully understand that these people don't rate us, as they say. They don't rate us. They think we are fools.
if we have others who are civil society organizations and the so-called opposition leaders, they play their own parts a little bit, we might not be where we are. I do remember when the whole all eyes on judiciary thing was going around. People were talking about it, who put a banner and they paid for it, and what have you. Everyone, people said, this guy, what's his name? I forgot his name. The former NBA president. What's this guy's name that was on television that day?
Is that Olumide Akpata?
No, Olumide Akpata. No, what's the other guy's name? Thank you very much. And he put out a very strong statement that people should stop. I'm paraphrasing. That people should stop abusing the judges. That what is being done to the judges is the wrong thing and everything, and what have you and everything. And you see other lawyers, for SANs and everything, who came out to support him and said, well, judges are being bullied. And that is how a lot of people were like, okay, we're not going to get involved. If indeed we had more people like, did something like Prophet TV and what's the one from Kogi State, the SM from Kogi State, and others who raised their voices, we might not have been where we are, right? But because you have those who have, who should have spoke earlier, who should have played their own part, sided the government and say people have the judges, bully the judges. What we're asking for is do what is right. There was nothing like bullying the judges. There was nothing like bullying them. Saying the judiciary and the alter ego judiciary became a problem for the judges. So if as a country we decide today or tomorrow and say, let's see this one out, I'm not sure if there's another opportunity for us to talk about this. That is the danger here, right? And the day we start talking about the all eyes on judiciary, you saw what you're a lawyer, you saw what happened where the Supreme Court decided that a judgment that has absolutely nothing to do with them, you're allowed in law, where the case is not in front of a judge, the judge decided to rule on that case. Is that what you guys do? Again, is it possible?
Well, yes, in certain situations, in certain scenarios,
so a judge can go to a case that is in the lower court, like in River State. The case of detection, right, in River State, was still in River State. So the Supreme Court has a right to go there and take, because from everything I've spoken to the number of lawyers, then everybody was against it. The Supreme Court judges, they were against it. That's saying to me that the judge can actually do this.
I'm not saying they can, but I'm saying it depends on the scenarios. Maybe you've asked a judge to rule on a situation that is slightly similar to another case that is in the lower courts. And the Supreme Court can say, look, bring all the cases here, let's rule on all of them at the same time. But if it's something that is totally unrelated, that has no connection whatsoever, then it will be a strange scenario for them to rule on it.
Okay, it's not related. It's definitely, I mean, you know the case I'm talking about. You've seen the case, right? The case of eviction in River State has nothing to do with the burning down or whatever that happened between Ibarra and this other. It has nothing to do with it. But the Nigerian judiciary Supreme Court decided to rule it. That's what gave credence to state of emergency, and nothing happened. And this is where we are. So personally, for me, I'm not going to trade the tower. I will continue to speak. But anybody who feels that they are going to sit down and they'll sit back and allow this guy to run, is the welcome. Everybody's welcome to do what they wish to do. Thank you very much for your submission. I'll pass the mic to Tim. Sorry, Captain, you raised your hand earlier.
Just carry on, Command said it's passed.
All right, thank you very much. Let's pass the mic to Timmy. Timmy, you have the mic. Good afternoon, sir.
Michael, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak on your space. Thank you for all you do. My comment, I think, will be because you mentioned in your comments what I wanted to actually talk about, and that's the fact that I suspect that Tinubu will be in Asoro for a very long time. I suspect so. Because just look at what he's doing. For context, I'm from Lagos State, I'm from Badagry. But we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to be serious as a country. We need to be serious as a country. This does not have the plan to leave Asoro even in 2021, I'm telling you. And if I want to be very honest with myself, I don't see anybody when it comes to the National Assembly, when it comes to the opposition, when it comes to even the elite, that we stand in his way. And to even make it worse, the hope of the common man, like we normally say, these guys will not stand in his way. Everything is asking for you just give it to him. So I'm really worried. You see, let me use an example. If you are in a relationship, for example, you are dating a guy, you in your relationship will not lead to marriage. There is a way you behave. There is a way you behave. But if you know that this lady, this guy, I'm going to marry him, there is a way you also behave. You guys are behaving. They don't believe their way. They don't believe it. So it's painful that we are going to create a country where there's no hope. You cannot even look at Fabio, for example, it's a total joke. People cannot even say, look at the so many annoying things in recent times. So very, very annoying. Nobody can even start to say, no, this cannot continue. What they have done as regards this case in Rivers, mindset, the consequence, they will live to repeat it. All the guys who are, of course, everybody, there are people who come and, justify it, say it's okay, give reason, they will come to repeat in the future. Crazy person tomorrow will do to them. So I really hope that maybe God in His mercy will help us one way or the other to say no to this person. But if we continue like this person with this character, he will be here for a long time. God will help us. Thank you, Michael. I give the mic.
All right, thank you very much, Simi, for your suggestion. God would help us. Somebody said something like that yesterday. I don't want to. I know a lot of people believe in God, but God is not. We're going to help ourselves. That's my position in this whole thing. God has given us everything we need to govern ourselves. And I love the fact that you mentioned the National Assembly. The thing here is the National Assembly has come. They have decided that whatever the presidency wants for him, the judiciary has sealed the whole thing. The presidency has absolute power to what happens. The only thing we have is each other. We'll continue to push, we'll continue to speak, and hopefully those who believe that they have what it takes to lead this country will see that they need to do more. They need to speak up more. They need to be in front of this whole thing. And if anybody, for any reason, accuse them of undermining the judiciary, they make reference to what Bayo Onanuga did in 1992. It is that simple. Bayo Onanuga is the president of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Nobody's saying everybody should have a judge anything, but when the judges have not done the right thing, have every right to say this is not right. This is not right. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Olu, you have the mic. Good afternoon, sir. Olu? Can somebody help me out? Am I still audible? Okay.
You're audible, mindset.
All right. So I pass the mic to, we have a new speaker here, Olu Kunle. Good afternoon, sir. It's not responding. So Captain, how are we getting on? Do we have any more persons requesting for the mic?
Yeah, we do. However, most of the people are people who given the mic to, and they dropped, so I don't want to bring them back.
All right, thank you very much. So, those on the speaker system, do you guys have anything to add? Those that have the mic on the speaker system, if you want to add anything, please raise your hand, and we'll pass the mic back to. You, right? So it's what democracy should be. But moving on from today onwards, maybe by tomorrow, if they decide to do anything with